Hey everyone, it's me, Larry Andrews again. And today I want to talk about Second Amendment assholes. There's like four kinds of Second Amendment assholes out there. And one of them are the gun people that rag on other gun people because they're poors. Poors. Meaning they can't afford the latest and greatest firearm out there. They don't have an arsenal of 50 weapons and a gazillion rounds of ammunition and so on and so forth. But they might have one gun. It might be a cheaper gun. And it might be all they can afford, but they're exercising their Second Amendment right, which is what counts. You know, it's not what you shoot, it's that you shoot. It's just like the motorcycle community, okay? For years, it's Harley guys, speed bike guys, and everything else. So if you were a Harley guy, you couldn't be around speed bike guys. It's like rules. I know club bikers that can't hang out with anybody when they're on official club business if they don't ride a Harley Davidson, which is the dumbest thing ever. But that's what they do. There's Harley, there's speed bikers, and then there's the adventure riders, and never shall the twain mix. If you don't believe me, go to any motorcycle rally, go to any motorcycle event, and you'll see it's completely segregated. And it happens all by itself. The Harley people are on one side, you know, the speed bikes are somewhere else, the chopper guys are somewhere else. Nobody ever gets together. It's the biggest misnomer motorcycle community. There isn't one. Well, that's the same thing with the 2A. When people say, "Oh, I'm part of the 2A community," and then there's the ones that are, you know, if you're not an NRA member, you're not really 2A. Or if you don't have more than 5 guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition, you're not really 2A. Or how can you be 2A when you only have 1 gun? And then there's, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. You know, there's a bunch of guys out there, they call themselves gun tubers, that do not talk about nothing but firearms and weaponry and stuff. And there's a couple of people that are real snobs. Oh, today we're going to see what a $3,500 real AR-15 does against, you know, this bargain $400 thing. They both go bang. And in the right hands, they both do exactly what they're supposed to do. But because this guy only paid $400 for his and this guy paid $3,000 for his, this guy thinks he's more 2A than anyone. It's bullshit. And I don't usually talk about my collection. So I'm not really going to say it's my collection. I'm just going to say I have access to some certain things. And unfortunately, I can't get one of them out right now because I'm still recovering from spinal surgery. I can't bend or lift. So I have a shotgun somewhere that I can't get to right now. And it was a cheap shotgun. It was like $189. It goes pump, bang. Did I have to buy a $500 shotgun to go pump, bang? Did I have to buy a $1,000 shotgun to go pump, bang? No. I found the cheapest I could find so I could have something that went pump and bang. Does that make me a bad person? No. Does that put me at a disadvantage in any way, shape, or form for what that thing is supposed to be for, which is mostly home defense at close quarters? No, it doesn't. And I already hear it, the tactical people, the tactical people. There's no rail on it. You can't mount an optic. You can't put a light on it. You can't this, you can't that. You got to have this, you got to have that. No, you don't. You got to know your layout of your place where you live, and you got to know pump, bang. That's all you got to know. And then there's the pistol guys that are the Gucci Glockers. You know, Glock perfection. If you don't have a Glock, you're not really a shooter. Oh, okay. Or if you don't have a Smith & Wesson this or an FN that, you're not a real 2A. You're not a real shooter. Okay. If you say so. There's a company out there called High Point. And High Point is the butt of everybody's joke. They make an ugly, ugly gun, cheap gun. Ugly. Again, I personally, I am not buying a firearm because it looks cool. I'm buying a firearm so it goes clunk, clunk, bang, meaning semi-auto. If it was a revolver, it would be this. So, semi-auto, it goes bang. It doesn't have to be the prettiest gun out there. That's the dumbest thing ever. And High Point's like really cheap, like $150, sub $200, at least it was, to get a perfectly functioning 9mm for somebody who needed something at home because they didn't have anything else and can't afford anything else. And those people are looked down upon mightily. They are the poors. So I want to show you something. This is something I have access to. I bought this from a pawn shop. I was walking around the pawn shops where I live. I was looking for something small, something a little different. And I saw this. This is an older gun, but I paid like $289 for this. And it only came with one magazine, but it held 12 rounds of 9mm. This is an Italian designed gun. It, does what it's supposed to do. It's empty. How do we know it's empty? I'll show you. You can see down it. I can see you. It's empty. So that means it's safe for all you weirdos out there that want to start yelling at me about that. Point is, I have big hands. This is pretty small. It's probably the smallest gun I own, and it's the second cheapest gun I own. But there it is. It's a tiny little thing. It goes bang when you pull the trigger. It does what it's supposed to do. Didn't cost me a fortune. This is what I carry a lot. But you don't have to spend a ton of money on anything to make it be what you want it to be. Now, excuse me, if you were gonna be, competition shooting or anything like that, maybe that's not the greatest gun, but I'm not a competition shooter. Okay, and I'm dead on with that thing at 50 yards. That's as far as I'd ever have to go out, reach out with that kind of a pistol. Little 9mm. I'm not going to do anything past 50 yards anyway. I can hit anything at 50 yards. I'm pretty good at it. And you hear 100 yards. You got to be able to do sub-MOA at 100 yards with my Glock and this and that. It's like, shut up. Okay, how many magazines do I have for that thing? 4. I keep the standard 12 shot in the pistol, and then I keep 2 18-rounders in the belt, as they say. That's all I'm going to need. For anything I'm going to get involved in, if I get involved in a major, I am not trying to do a major freaking shootout. I'm not trying to do a first-person shooter game where I'm in a mall and there's like hundreds of people trying to kill me. That's not what that's for. That's for, I get carjacked. There it is. That's one guy. That's for somebody who decides they're going to try to mug me on the street. There it is for that one guy. If I'm in a grocery store and some asshole with a gun walks in and tries to shoot my father, that's what that's for. But it's still one guy. If anything beyond that, then I'm going to have to jump on 911 and call the cops, because that's what you do. But, all you tactical guys that, run around with the vests and a million, nobody's doing that. Nobody needs that. And again, that's a whole nother type of 2A asshole, is the guys that do because they can. You're not helping the 2A cause at all. You're giving more ammunition to the anti-gun assholes when you do that kind of stuff. But for me personally, and I'll go through probably everything I own at some point, but that is my cheapest handgun. Under $200. And it works perfectly. Instead of dumping a whole ton of money into like a much more expensive gun, I was able to buy a whole bunch of ammo for that too. So that's the other thing you got to think of, especially now. So, bottom line, Don't look down on your neighbor. Don't look down on other 2A people because they can't afford what you can afford. Don't look down on people and call them poors. Oh, he's a poor because they only own one gun. Maybe that's all they can afford, but maybe that's all they want. So they have that to do what they need to do. Everybody does what everybody does. Doesn't make anybody better or worse than anyone else. And I got nothing against the guys that are running around in chest rigs with all the magazines in them and going to stores completely decked out. It's like, okay, if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. Do it. But you're an asshole because you make people scared. And when people get scared of the big scary guy with the big scary gun, the whole country goes fucking nuts and tries to take away from the rest of us. And that applies to the motorcycle community as well. Stop doing wheelies down the middle of the freeway when it's completely blocked and crowded. Because people already hate people with motorcycles. And you're just giving them more reason to hate. Just like you guys, going into Starbucks with an AR-15 and a full chest rig. People already don't like people with guns. Stop giving them more reason to not like us. Don't be a 2A asshole.